Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 943 of the Immigration Answer Show. Can you guys hear me? I'm good. Awesome. Hoolie's here, keeping me on the straight and narrow, making sure that my hair is right for the show. How's everybody? What's going on? I'm interviewing everyone in the firm. I'm spending 15 minutes with everyone in the firm, hopefully by the end of the year, trying to figure out what's going on in the different departments. And I just met a paralegal who I hadn't met before named Brian, who works here. So that was nice. I also met with Finn, who's been here for a long time and sends out our lawsuits. I met with Josefina, who's a lawyer in Argentina and a paralegal who helps with our lawsuits. And I met with Ricardo, who does all of our technical stuff. He's a programming wizard. So we have a nice group of people here at Old Hacking Immigration Law. And of course, Ms. Hoolie Hollick would be at the top of the list of divas here at the firm. She's not as diva-esque as Skyla, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. I'll take both of them. How are you guys? How's your day going? Did I tell you guys I talked to Gary Vee the other day? The one and only Gary Vaynerchuk. I was on his Tea with Gary Vee show. The video didn't work out so well. I don't know if he's actually going to release it, but it was really, really funny because he has a whole convoluted system. You have to get on Whatnot. Have you anybody here hear of Whatnot? It's a pretty interesting app. It's like a QVC or Home Shopping Network, but it's an app. So you can like buy shit on there and sell shit on there. So like Gary Vaynerchuk, anybody know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? So he's an immigrant. He came to the United States from Belarus back in like around 1980 or so. And of course, Gary Vaynerchuk, he wrote Crush It, which is a book that I read shortly after starting the firm, and which is the reason we have a YouTube channel, was because of Gary Vee. Why we have the Immigration Answer Show, because he does, or did during COVID, Tea with Gary Vee. He's like my online hero. I spend way too much time consuming his content, but I thought of all of you because to get on his show, you have to go on Whatnot and ask a question in text and sort of hope that they pick you to come on camera. And then Gary's also a Jets fan, so that was fun to talk about the Jets. But I asked him if he would come on the Immigration Answer Show for the 1,000th episode. We'll record it ahead of time. I asked him if he would come on for 25 minutes. He said he would come on for 5 minutes. So Gary Vee said he would come on. I'll get the clip for you guys. And in fact, I think we're going to put together a whole immigration montage of Gary's story and the things that he says about immigrants, because I think it's kick-ass. And so anyway, to get on there, you have to go on WhatsApp. Then once you get selected, they put you in Zoom, and then they vet you again in Zoom. And then once you're ready to go, then you go into this other third piece of software. So it was really almost like going down this path. But I was so excited waiting in the waiting room to talk to Gary. So I sort of understand, for those of you who've been watching the show a while and who get a little nervous talking to me, which I don't think you should, but it was fun. And I appreciate all of you being here, and I appreciate people. Hoolie's cat is here. I appreciate everybody. The reason I'm dressed up today, you might be wondering, is Adela, employee number 1 at Old Hacking Immigration Law, is getting an award today from the St. Louis Business Journal. Hoolie, you don't know this? Yeah, I nominated her for 40 under 40. So they're recognizing 40 people under 40, and they're having a dinner down at the Ballpark Village, and Amani and Umra and Adela and her husband Dino and I are going down. So she's going to get that award. I leave right after this. That's why we're doing the show now. So it's exciting. We're excited for Adela, and certainly she's well deserving of her award, and we're very, very proud of her. Another one of my favorite immigrants. So here's what I'm thinking. You guys tell me what you think. So I have to fill 10 hours for the 1,000th episode of the show. We're going to do a 10-hour show. I'll probably do a live show to kick it off, a live show at lunchtime, and then a live show in the evening on that day. I don't know when it'll be. If we're doing 4 episodes a day and we're say 56 episodes away. I don't know, what is that? 4 episodes a week, 56, 14 weeks from now. So what's that, like 3 months from now? So probably end of February, I'm thinking. We'll do a 10-hour show. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to interview, I don't know if I'm going to call it My Favorite Immigrants. I need to come up with a show title. I'm going to start a new podcast. It's just me interviewing immigrants for 25 minutes. Famous, infamous, not famous, just to sort of tell their stories and to tell immigrant stories. Because I think one of the ways we make people happy, one of the ways we make people happy is to, or one of the ways we educate people about immigration and fight back on this rhetoric from Trump is by telling actual stories of actual immigrants. So at first it'll probably be lots of friends of mine and stuff. Amani will be on and Adele will be on, and it'll be fun. It'll be a fun story, a fun show. So I'll do these 25-minute interviews and I'll air them during the 10-hour broadcast, and then that'll be the launch. Oh, origin stories. Yeah, that's a good one. Damn it, Laura. Will you write that down, Huli? Origin stories for me. She's talking to somebody, but yeah, that's good. Or Laura, if you could text me that just so I remember, that would be helpful. Origin stories. Yeah, that's a good one. Because I love speaking at the naturalization ceremonies, and I love hearing from people about how they came to America and their long journeys. And man, if you could just record all those stories, just think about that. That'd be a cool movie. Like if you just arranged to meet all the people who naturalized on one day and then just told all of their stories, that would be a neat movie. That might be a neat show. Anyway, wouldn't famous immigrants have very different experiences than us regular people, the most affected by this new policies? I don't think so. Gary Vaynerchuk is here because, thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Gary V's here because Jimmy Carter traded wheat with the Russians. I think it was Jimmy Carter, not Reagan. It might have been Reagan. Traded wheat for Jewish refugees, exiles, to get them out of the Russian Soviet republics. So I mean, certainly there are immigrants like Melania Trump who came very easily and filed bullshit cases and shouldn't actually be here that are famous. But I would say lots of famous immigrants probably had tough immigration stories. Some of them, at least. All right. Let's get started and talk to M. Hello, M.
Hi there, Jim. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Great.
I'm pretty happy that we're back into pre-Trump StreamYard traffic. It's been 1 year since the elections were announced. Exactly.
You're right.
What a roller coaster. I have an interesting case with a friend of mine. He has a pretty interesting, sad set of facts, but hopefully nothing too major. He's a citizen of Jordan, and he lived in Jordan when he was going through university. He met a Jordanian American citizen. She was born in California. He ended up leaving Jordan to Canada on a work visa. A few years pass by. She ends up graduating and they get married in Jordan. She moves to the United States to establish domicile. He goes back to Canada on a work visa. No petition filed yet, but he decided to go for a B2 visa as someone who's married to a US citizen. And I told him there's no way in hell you're getting a B2 visa. I'm betting $50 on it. And what do you know, Jim? I lost the $50.
I'm sorry.
They actually issued him the visa. They asked him anything and everything under the sun in the embassy in Ottawa. They spent 30 minutes with him and they told him straight up that we do not issue B2 visas to people who are married to US citizens, but you answered everything I asked of you. So I'm
Wow.
going to issue your visa. So what do you know, Jim? He flies on February 1st from Toronto to San Francisco. He stays for a week. CBP gave him a 6-month I-94. He returns back to Toronto, and then in April, he departs again to San Francisco and is now in the US ever since. He thought that in April he would be given another I-94 for 6 months, but in July, he realized that CBP used the first I-94. So his I-94 was set to expire in August 1st, and he only had 2 weeks before that expired, so he ended up rushing the AOS process, drafting the forms, getting the I-864 and whatnot. So the I-130 and 485 were received 2 days before the I-94 expired. So I think that would have made him in somewhat of authorized state. The I-130 was scheduled 2 months after the petition was filed. He got a work card a few weeks after. The I-130 was approved on the spot, but the 485 wanted to be approved by the officer, but unfortunately the physician messed up the I-693 and forgot to include the vaccination list. So the officer immediately issued an RFE for the vaccinations. But unfortunately, a couple days after the 485 interview, he got into a bit of a standoff with the landlord that he lives with. He rents a room with his wife. They were cooking in the kitchen, but they had their shoes on, and the landlord didn't like it. They already, they already had a lot of like conflicts and arguments about other things. So this was like the last straw for the landlord, and he really wanted to get rid of them. So he actually called the police on him, accusing him of having a knife pointed towards him when he was actually using it with his wife for cooking. And the police came, they arrested him, they threw him in jail for about 10 hours, and then they let him go. They scheduled him for a court date, but the police department in San Francisco dropped the case, and he had a arrest record and a disposition showing that the case was dropped due to lack of evidence and cause. So my question to you is, he doesn't have a lawyer and he can't afford one, and I'm really trying to help him out. And I want to make sure I'm giving him proper guidance. And my question to you is, I guess USCIS is held up on the 485 right now because of the arrest. And
Maybe not.
okay, what should he do? Should he upload the arrest record with the disposition beforehand and a simple letter explaining what happened?
So I just want to say a couple things. First of all,
Sure.
whenever an officer says, "I really want to approve this," but they don't really want to approve it that much, so don't ever
Right.
believe them when they say that.
Okay.
But so beyond the police report,
Mhm.
what proof does he have that this case is going nowhere?
No, the case was dropped by the prosecutor.
And that's what I want proof of. What proof do we have of that?
He has a like a paper from the sheriff showing a disposition, the date it was dropped, and it shows lack of evidence and like abbreviation.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, I would definitely upload that for sure.
Okay. Do you recommend doing a letter as well?
Well, I would recommend a letter from a lawyer that outlines why this does not make him inadmissible. I don't know if him just doing a cover letter is going to carry the day.
Right. Should he mail it or should he upload it or should he do both?
Yeah, I would do both. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate it. You have yourself a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Let's go to NB. Hello. NB, you're on mute.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, just real quick. After NB, I'm going to do AR, then RJ, then CQ. AR, RJ, CQ after NB. Sorry, go ahead, NB.
Thanks, Jim. Firstly, thanks for this free resource. I recently came across your YouTube channel, and this has been really great.
Awesome.
So just a brief background about me. I came to the US in 2014 for my undergraduate degree. I graduated, did my OPT, and I'm currently in a PhD program, finished my master's, doing my thesis. I met my partner in 2021. We started living together a year after that, and in 2025, we got married in March. We applied for our concurrent filing in August, at the end of August, and I have my EAD now, and we have our interview scheduled for next week. So we're preparing for our interview, and we feel good about everything in terms of like our marriage. We have like plenty of evidence. We have lots of travel together, shared financial history, and everything. The one thing that is our concern is we had a private ceremony, and without going into too much detail about it, the reason was because my parents would not be accepting of our situation, just because of religious reasons, of like cultural reasons and whatnot. So I really had to make a hard choice between pursuing this and like maintaining a connection with my family still. So we decided that, right now they are not here, they don't need to know, and I can still sort of have the best of both worlds. So we went ahead and did this, and we're hoping that in the future at some point, when they're here or if they're visiting or whatnot, we'll be able to share this with them, but trying to be realistic about the situation. So because of this, we haven't told his family either, but I am pretty familiar with all of his family. We hang out together, they have come and stayed over. He's met my siblings, and so there is like evidence of like knowing each other, but we're really just concerned about the part where if they ask us about our family and why they're not involved in the wedding, should we go into detail about like everything, like the reason we don't tell them, or like should I sort of like give them a synopsis of like, we'll tell them, they're like sort of all over the place right now, and then in the future when it happens, it will happen.
Do they know that this person that you're married to exists?
No, they do not.
Have either of you been married before?
No.
And your parents are back in the home country?
Yes.
What is the plan to tell your parents in the future?
Honestly, I don't know, Jim. Like, frankly, like, to be completely honest, I don't know. The reason being, like, I just know that my dad in particular would never like accept the situation. So I don't really have an answer to that, to be honest.
Sorry, I meant to say that I'm sorry that that's happening.
Thanks, Jim.
Let's ask this. So, okay. Well, first of all, do you have siblings?
Yes.
Do they know?
My sister knows.
Will she sign an affidavit?
She did send in like the letter of support. So she has signed that, yeah.
Is it notarized?
No, she just had her contact information and whatnot. But she'd be willing to like
Yeah.
send.
So
we've honestly been debating if we should tell his parents in the meantime, because like we're open to that. The reason we didn't want to tell right away is because of the
nobody's parents knows?
No, none of our parents know. I mean, they know we live together. They come and visit us, his set of family, but they don't know that we're legally married.
So if you're an officer, and I think you might understand why difficult dad isn't told about this, but they might wonder why not mom or why not the other set of parents. I think that's sort of an issue.
Okay. So
what's the answer for that?
Oh, so the answer is just because like we haven't told his parents like what situation is like with my family at home. We haven't told them that like my parents would not really be approving of the situation. And because I don't really go back home, I don't really see my family too much. Like it's been years, and it's not an issue that comes up. His parents are pretty laid back, and they're just sort of accepting of the situation as is, as in like they don't try to pry too much. So we haven't had to, so we haven't, frankly.
That doesn't sound like a good answer to me.
Okay.
I mean, don't you think that? I mean, let me put it to you this way. I've been doing marriage-based green card interviews since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And I've certainly had 20 cases where one parent or one set of parents doesn't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've ever had one where neither set of parents knows.
Okay.
So I think they're going to view that as a little bit sus.
Okay. Okay.
The other thing I wanted to ask you was, let's put to the side. Well, first of all, one thing to keep in mind is you sort of had your own path.
Mm-hmm.
Stay here with a PhD, right? Like it's not like you were out of status. It's not like you had no other way of staying in the United States so that you would enter into a fraudulent marriage, right?
Right.
But man, I've been in those interviews where one parent doesn't know, and the officers go at those people pretty hard. So I would say you probably need to have more evidence than other people
mm-hmm.
in order to get this thing approved.
And then what would your top recommendation for that be? We have like our insurances together. We have like, he takes care of most of the bills. Like we have leases together for over 3 years. We travel pretty frequently. But I know like
I would say to me, this is a case what about friends, and do friends know? I mean, how many people on earth know that you're married? I guess is my question.
Honestly, just us and my sister.
Come on, dude.
Okay. So that's a big.
Yeah, I should probably do a video on this. Holding yourself out as a couple is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, not holding yourself out if they ask you that question, what in the world are you going to say as to why only one person on earth outside of your marriage knows that you're married? What possible answer could there be on that one?
honestly, that the only thing I was thinking we could say is like, we're waiting to have like a bigger ceremony and just wanted to get the legal work out of the way. But I see your point, and that is the reason for my concern. That is the reason for me calling.
Don't say we want to get the legal part out of the way. That would be problematic.
Okay, got it. Okay, that gives me a lot of clarity, Jim. Thank you. I think we may end up talking to his parents. Just, we just like, I don't think there's a right way to do it given my situation, but like maybe
Why?
let's.
Why? What does that mean? There's not a right way given my situation. What does that mean?
I mean, with the family, with his family.
Why? What? I don't understand why you didn't say there was any hang up with his family.
No, but like, just like kind of like launching it at them, like that we're already married would be a little bit hard.
Well, that's going to be true whenever you do it.
That's true.
And let's just say one other thing. What happens if they find out from USCIS, not from you?
Oh, like they could go and ask the parents, you're saying?
If they want to cause mischief.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Jim. This gives a lot of clarity. We'll try to resolve it before the interview.
I would highly recommend it. And everybody, affidavits that aren't signed, aren't notarized, aren't very helpful. Donna says she's okay sometimes. Oh, poor Donna. We miss you, Donna. Danson says, I think you should tell the parents. Well, that's a whole other thing. DK, hello. Oh, hold on, just real quick. What's the proper way to do it?
Hello.
Locations are located on level 1 of Central Parking. Follow the signs around the airport and the instructions within
Oh, it's
the app.
at the airport.
Please wait to request your ride until you have reached Central Parking.
All right, we'll come back. T, hello.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. And yourself?
I'm great, thank you, T.
Okay. So hi. I was automatically registered to vote at the DMV in Washington State when transferring my driver's license, but I never voted and later cancelled the registration. I already disclosed it honestly on the N400. Just want to know, how should I handle this at the interview so the officer doesn't think it was a false claim to citizenship?
So the officer will want to conclude that it's a false claim to citizenship. The officer is going to want to screw you with this because they have tightened up the rules and they claim that they have more authority than I think they actually legally have. So I think you might have a fight on your hands. I think that they've twisted the definition and rules regarding false claims to citizenship beyond what the statute says, beyond what the regulation says. And I think that you might need a lawyer to challenge all this if they fuck around with you too much.
Okay, I do have a lawyer on
Good.
deck.
So they better be ready. They better be ready and know about this new rule and be ready to fight back. To me, the big thing is, when did they add you to the voter roll?
Okay, so this was in 2021. It was like,
How are you going to prove to the satisfaction of USCIS that this is the state of Washington's fault and not T's fault?
okay, they released a memo or a saying that this was a problem, and I've had an email from the Secretary of State saying that I've been removed from the list and that I haven't voted. And in 23, I had my driver's license stolen, and I went back to the DMV, and then they asked me the same question, and I've obviously said no this for a second time. And then I have two instances. The first one in 21, they added me to it, and the second one where they didn't add me to it.
So
And then in 25, that's when I removed myself a couple of months ago.
that sounds like all really good evidence. Okay. The problem is that USCIS now, I think illegally, says that it's a strict liability standard. That is, if there's any evidence out there in the world that at some point somebody thought you were a U.S. citizen, it's your fault. Now, I think that's total bullshit, right? I think that's completely illegal, but that's almost what they're saying. They have the proof for it. So I'm glad with everything that you have, and I think it's really, really good. I think during Biden times, it would have sailed right through, no problem.
Yeah.
But I still would want to know, and I would want you to be able, or your attorney to be able to articulate. I think that letter from the Secretary of State saying this was a known problem, but also if there's some way that we can demonstrate, if we could get the paperwork from when you got your driver's license that time,
Yeah.
that and they made the mistake, not you, I think that carries the day even better.
Okay, so I've been in contact with the DMV or Department of Licensing, and they say that there's no electronic record of me or them adding me. It's just an instance. It's just an instance that says, okay, yes, you're a citizen, and that's it. But then on this, sorry.
I can live with that if they'll put that in writing.
Okay, so I need them to put that in writing. Okay.
Yeah, because the most important thing is whether you yourself ever said that you were a U.S. citizen.
Got
That's
it.
the whole shooting match.
Okay, and even though it's because the instance says like it's got my signature on there, and it says under the something of perjury or whatever, this claims to be true.
What claims to be true?
At the end of when you apply for your driving license, it's just some legal jargon saying, okay, this is my signature.
Is there something above that says you're a citizen?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it does. It's the option that checks. Do you want to be added to the US voter roll, the voter registration?
On your form, it says yes.
Yes.
Why does it say yes?
Well, apparently they automatically register you. So like I can clearly remember being in the DMV and they've asked me, do you want to register? I says, no, I'm not a US citizen. I can't. I don't have any documents to prove I'm a US citizen. And I've still been added to it. And then the second time when I've been like 2 years later, again the same thing. But then it says no. Then the instance says no. The two.
Okay. I think that's all we can do.
That's so okay. So just hope for the best, basically. I mean,
like I said, I don't think you did anything wrong. I don't think that they should be able to hold this against you. If they fuck with you on your N400 and try to deny you, let me know and I'll fight. I know what to do to challenge this because I think it's illegal.
Okay, got it. And just okay, so just in case they deny this in this process, right? What happens then after the interview?
We file a form. We file a form called an N336, and they might deny you again. And then we go to federal court, and then we have a judge who would tell them that they're full of shit. So I think it might be a long. I think here's what I think. I think 85% chance you get your citizenship, and this is not a problem based on what you've told me and what you say. What you say is documented. If they fuck with you, then we appeal to the next level, which is you go down the hall and talk to a different person in that office. And then I think you have a 5% chance of winning there. So then I think you're up at 90. And then if we lose there, then we go to federal court where it's a judge who doesn't work for Trump, hopefully. And you get an independent determination. And that's where we make the legal challenge to this new stricter interpretation of a false claim to citizenship. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah. And just to add to clarify, it's Washington State.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I might have said DC, but I just meant Washington. I knew you were in Washington State.
Okay, got it. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated, sir.
Good luck. Let us know how it goes, okay?
I definitely will do. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, Stephen, hello. Stephen's out of here. Did we go to CQ yet, Hooli? I don't know. CQ, did I? No? She's busy. She's talking to someone. I'll go to CQ. Oh, yes, one in the airport. CQ, are you there?
Hi, how are you, Jim?
I'm good.
I just had a quick question. I have my naturalization interview coming up next week. I was wondering what type of documents do I need and how the new changes for the naturalization are being handled by USCIS.
How did you get your green card?
Through BAGWA.
Wow. Okay. And when was that?
That was in 2022.
Um, and okay. So I would say that they're probably going to revisit your VAWA case. So you have to be ready for that. I'm not saying
Okay.
I'm not saying you're going to have to reprove it all over again, but I think they're going to ask you about it and probably want, in their mind, they're going to think that Biden gave you VAWA when Biden shouldn't have given you VAWA. So if they can knock out your VAWA claim, then you don't get your citizenship. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So I have to, when I get to the interview, I gotta get all the documentations from the Bawa case as well.
I would say so. I mean, don't go in there getting ready to talk about it. But if they start asking you about it, you got to be ready to explain about the abuse and why you got VAWA and why it was a valid case, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you still need to provide all the evidence from the Bawa case, all the things that I submitted, like the bills, the lease together, and things like that, or?
Yeah, I'd be ready. I'd be ready to reprove it as if it was my original interview.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't know what type of documents to go with to the interview.
And then, how about
And
have you had any interactions with law enforcement?
I got 2 speeding tickets, but those are paid and taken care of.
Okay, yeah. So you might want to have a letter or two from some people that say you're a good person. I don't know that they're actually legally able to ask you for that, but they are asking for it. So I would bring it.
Okay, who would it be a good person to ask?
People that know you well and know you're a good person.
Okay, so family and friends will do.
Yeah, U.S. citizens or green card holders. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Good luck, CQ.
Yeah, that shall be all for today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's see if Miriam's back. Miriam, hello.
Jane, salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you doing?
I'm okay. What about you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I have a couple of questions, a bit of a story to it. I came to the States back in 2017, September 2017, and then before my 6 months expired, I filed for asylum. By February 2018, I got my asylum, and then I waited for a year, filed for my green card, and I got it in May 2020.
Great.
Okay, so after getting it, I've been going to Kenya since September 2021. So September 2021, I went to Kenya, and then December of that year, and then 2022, December, 2023, 2024. And right now, I had already bought my ticket for Kenya for next month. But then something happened to one of my auntie's best friends. She also got her papers through asylum. She has been doing the same thing as I have been doing. But last week, when she was coming back from Kenya, she lives in Boston. When she was like at the TSA line, whatever, how you give them your green card and your passport, the agents asked her, like, hey, I can see you're from Kenya. And then they asked her, how did you get your papers? The lady said, I got my papers through asylum. They took her to those back offices. They held her there for like 2 hours, and then they gave her her phone. They asked her to make like 2 or 3 calls and tell whoever is close to her that they're sending her back to Kenya with the next flight. My aunt called me and told me about like what happened, and now I'm scared. I don't know how you would advise me. Do you think it's safe for me to go to Kenya? And I also filed for my citizenship now. I filed it on the 20th of October.
Is Kenya the country that you got asylum from?
Yes.
Why in the world would you go back to Kenya if you swore under oath that if you got, hold on, let me finish, that if you received asylum in the United States, that you would be persecuted? You swore it under oath, and then you turned around a year after getting your green card and went back to Kenya, and you've done so every year since.
Jim, my parents are sick, and I'm from like a town called Mombasa from the coast region, but each time I go home, I don't go to Mombasa. I
Okay.
go
So
some.
let's think back to
Mm,
your asylum interview. When you had your asylum interview, I guarantee you that one of the questions that the officer
mm,
asked you
uh,
is there anywhere else in Kenya that you can live in safely other than your hometown? And you would have said no.
I don't remember, but maybe it was there.
You should withdraw your citizenship case and you should not go back to Kenya. You've made a colossal error. You swore that what you just told me verifies
Yes.
something. People have been mad at me. I've been saying that
Yeah.
what was going to happen to your Kenyan auntie. I've been saying that for years, and everybody says, Jim, you're crazy. Jim, that's extreme. Jim, that's not going to happen. If you go back to Kenya, the
Yeah.
same thing is going to happen to you. If you go to your naturalization interview, the same thing is going to happen to you.
So, oh my God, I just canceled the application
I mean, I
for the
believe
citizenship.
okay. So on your N400,
Yes.
were you concerned at all when
I
it
was like
filed?
when they ask you the 3 years, how you have to put the dates, the year. I'm like, subhanallah. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I'm due for my application. It's been 5 years already.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And you shouldn't have. You screwed yourself once you started going back to Kenya every year. That was you could have gone to any country in the world except for Kenya. Every other country would have been fine. But I mean, to me, I hate to
Mm,
say it, it's
yeah.
almost like F you, I'm going back to my country. I mean, it literally, I haven't had anybody ever tell me that they did what you did. That every year after getting their green card, they went back once a year to the very country they sought asylum from. You swore under oath that it wasn't safe for you to go back, and then you've gone back every year. If you go to that naturalization interview, the same thing's probably going to happen to you.
Wow. So, okay, fine. I cancel my trip for next month. That's number one. And then number two, I should cancel the citizen application too.
I'm not telling you what to do. I don't
Like
I don't make people's
advise me.
decisions. I don't make people's decisions. What I'm saying is
Hmm.
that if you show, so on your N400, about 5 pages down, it says list all the countries that you visited in the
Yes.
last 5 years. Kenya,
Yes.
Kenya,
Mhm.
Kenya, Kenya. I mean, that's like stab you in the neck. That's like the worst possible thing you could have done. Because now they're going to go back and undo yours. And here's the thing: USCIS said that not only are they going to start sending people to removal on a denied case, they're
Mhm.
also going to severely scrutinize withdrawn cases. So you have to be ready. You have to prove to them
Mhm.
that somehow it
Mhm.
magically became safer for you to go back to Kenya a year after you got your green card, i.e., 2 years after you got your asylum, that in 2 years, suddenly everything was safe for you to go to Kenya. Otherwise, they're going to pick apart your asylum case and say, this was all bullshit. We never should have given you asylum, and you're going back. Did you talk to anybody before you left the United States?
Anybody like who?
Like a lawyer?
No, I've been doing everything by myself. Even the asylum, I did everything by myself.
Well, I mean, you are free to do whatever you want, but I mean, that story about the auntie, that's exactly what I've been hearing, or that's exactly what I've been fearing. That, this is what I used to fight with Shabazz about. Oh, Jim, I got my green card through marriage. I don't need to worry about my old asylum case.
Mhm.
Like, but yours isn't even that. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you that if you go to your naturalization interview, I think it's a 90% chance
Mhm.
that when they see that you've gone to Kenya every year since getting your green card, that they're going to deny your N400 and put you in removal.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna cancel it right now.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you, Jim. Shukran.
Afwan. Somebody said, I like this a lot. Let me see. Then people say Jim is fear-mongering when it comes to travel. Check comments of a recent video. Shake my head. This is crazy. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. Someone said I was a fear-monger. And they've certainly said it about asylum cases, right? Like, I mean, Andrew and I, one of the attorneys in the office, were talking today about someone who, it was a situation where a wife files for her husband. He gets a green card. And, no, what is it? I'll forget it. I can't remember that story. I screwed that up. But just know that this is one of the things that I've been worrying about when it comes to citizenship, that I think that in the denaturalization world that we're living in, where they want to try to denaturalize people. So I would say that if you already had your citizenship and you've gone back every year, that this is something they're going to start looking at to try to take away people's citizenship. Eduardo, hello.
Hello there.
How you
Jim,
doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Sure.
So my situation is the following. I was getting ready to send my wife of more than 2 years her adjustment of status packet with the I-130 and all the documents concurrently. But I knew that she had, and as she was on the asylum case of her ex-husband several years ago, and I decided to look into it. And when I did look into it, it seems that she's still on the case. Now, she had requested when she got her divorce from him back in 2023 to be taken off the case, but apparently the people she was working with never did. I'm wondering a couple of things. First of all, the procedure for her adjustment of status, obviously at this point, and if I've seen a few contradictory opinions as far as doing the I-130 first and then having to wait for that to be approved and then having to go through immigration court. And then I don't know if I'm supposed to put in for the termination of her asylum first or wait, and where she's going to end up being in limbo in the meantime.
So when your wife's ex's case, was that an asylum case in immigration court or at the asylum office?
No, they went to the asylum office and then they didn't accept it and they were sent to immigration court.
Okay.
They had 3 appointments and they kept postponing the appointments, and there's currently an appointment scheduled for 2029, according to the EOIR that I checked.
Okay. So we've got some issues here. So first of all, this case should not be filed without an attorney. So this is what you're trying to do is too complicated in this day and age. I mean, do you know what the status is of that man's asylum case?
It says pending until 2029 at this point. That's all I know. Okay. And he was able to get a work permit just recently, because one of the things that ticked us off is that a few months ago they called to ask her to pay half of some document they had to put in.
Okay. So, but they're legally divorced.
Legally divorced, yes, in Miami, Broward County.
Okay. Okay. So what I would do, so really right now she's got no status.
I believe not. She was on TPS, but that TPS is ending tomorrow.
Thanks, Trump. Okay. Yeah. So, you can only file an I-130. You can't file a 485. This woman is in removal proceedings.
Correct.
So what I would do is I would file the I-130, get it approved. Then you're going to file a motion to sever her from her ex's asylum case. I wouldn't do ordinarily in the old days, I would just do that now, but we don't want them to think, oh, she's out now, so we can deport her, right?
Yeah, that's my worry.
Yeah, so I would get the I-130 approved, notify the court, try to get her out of the asylum case, and then file a 485, and then terminate proceedings as to her so that she can adjust. It'll be a little bit tricky because like we do this maneuver a lot with someone who applied for asylum and is in immigration court and then marries a U.S. citizen. Yours is a little different because the reason she's in there is because she was a writer on her ex-husband's case. So it's a little bit messy, but the approach is the same. I-130 approved, file a notice with the court asking to sever her get her out of the asylum case, to terminate proceedings as to her so that she can then go back to USCIS with you and adjust your status, or Worst case scenario, they give her her own court date 2 years from now, and then she gets to adjust through you at that point.
In the meantime, the I-130 could take several months, obviously. What is she, in limbo? Can she stay? Does she have to leave? I assume she can't get a work permit or anything like that, right?
Right. And, you know, at some point we have to notify the court that she's, you know, that she's not married to that person anymore. I would stop trying to get any work cards based on that pending case. But I think for her protection, we would file the I-130 and then notify them once that's approved. But yeah, she's in limbo for sure.
Exactly. And is that limbo going to be a difficulty for when I do apply for the adjustment of status?
So that just reminded me, I'm glad that you asked that question. How did she enter the United States?
On a visa, on a tourist visa.
Good. So yeah, that'll be forgiven because she's married to you. That long over, like you'll have to disclose it and talk about it, but you won't need a waiver and she won't need to leave.
Okay.
But you know, like, I don't know how long you've listened to the show, but like the Russian guy that made the wrong turn in Washington, D.C. the other day, she is subject to deportation, right? So she's not married to the asylum seeker. She doesn't have an approved I-130. So in Trumplandia, they're saying, well, we don't wait anymore for the I-130 to get approved. We're not going to slow walk her deportation just because she's married to this U.S. citizen and has a pending I-130. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I thought of that, and that's my worry. Like at this point, I've even thought about it. Well, would it be better for her to just go back? But she's still in the asylum case. And from the lady I just heard speaking previously, that probably wouldn't be a good idea to go back, or does it matter if she's a derivative?
It wouldn't be. It's not nearly as a severe problem as that lady has.
Absolutely.
Thing. Yeah.
But is that an option for her to go back until the I-130 is approved? I mean, not the best option, but
it is an option.
It is an option. But her pending status right now would not be affected with the adjustment of status if we get through the months until her I-130 is approved.
I didn't understand that question. You sort of combined a couple things. So walk me through what you're asking.
So my worry right now is, I'm clear on the procedure, but my worry right now is she's going to be in pending status and subject to removal until we terminate, or until we don't terminate, actually, because once it's terminated through divorce, then she could be put in removal proceedings. She could be put in deportation, I mean.
Correct. And, you know, that brings up to your question about whether or not she should leave. Now, she doesn't necessarily have to go to that country. She could go to a different country. Mm-hmm. She might have a bar, though. I don't know. Was she out of status for more than a year before she got TPS?
No. She got her TPS while she was waiting on her asylum.
Oh, her husband's asylum.
Her husband's asylum, yes.
She never had her own asylum.
No.
And that asylum case that her husband filed was filed while they were both still in status?
They had overstayed their visa, but it was filed, I believe, while they were still in status, yes.
Well, not if they overstayed their visa.
No, they were within the 6 months that they were given.
Okay. What I was going to say is, number one, just so I don't forget, number one is that she's in removal, so you have to prove your case by a higher standard. So when somebody gets married in removal, especially when they're married to somebody else that is in removal with them, you have to prove by clear and convincing evidence that this is a real marriage, which is higher than the 51% that most spouses. And in fact, you have to file a special form called the good faith marriage exception, where you're asking them to look past the fact that she's in removal and that you believe your case meets that higher standard. That's one thing I want to say. And the other thing I want to say is, based on that question you had about whether or not she should leave, and I'm not saying she should leave. I would want to look at the whole timeline, talk to her, talk it all through, all that, like get her immigration case, all that stuff.
Sure.
The other thing is, to your point, if you file an I-130 petition, you obviously have to prove that she's free to marry, which would include notifying them that she's divorced from asylum seeker.
Correct.
If they then know that, then that could trigger them, if they're really being extra evil, to go out and find her, or wait for her to come to them at her I-130 interview, take her into custody, and put her in removal then.
Yeah. That's exactly why I'm suffering right now.
I'm sorry, brother.
No, not a problem. I'm sorry I didn't figure it out sooner. I just assumed when she said, "Oh, I was taken off that case," I assumed that was the case, and
Well, let's just be glad that you checked.
yeah, exactly.
Because
Sure.
you could have shown up at that I-130 interview not even thinking about it, and then everything could unravel right. Like ICE would be sitting there waiting for her.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Someone.
Interesting case.
Thank you. Is there someone I can contact about?
Yeah, Julio, you got Eduardo. She's gonna reach out.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, brother.
Take care.
Peace. This is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. Oh, I got the lit up hat and mustache. Oh, I didn't even get to see it. Thank you, Rich. I got it and he lit it up. I didn't even get to see it. That's my favorite. I'll have to watch the replay. We're getting Donna's info. Donna's got a GoFundMe. Ryan's got it going. Donna needs a chainsaw. I believe Donna could operate a chainsaw. What do you guys think? I think she could. Have you ever seen me try to cut something down with a chainsaw? It's pathetic. I'm such not a handy person. Swanky City Nails is in Idaho. Nice. That was Eduardo. Let's go to bro. What's up, bro?
Hi, Jim. Thanks for picking my call.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Perfect. So let me come quick to the story. So I came to the United States with a F1 visa. So after my graduation, I was married to a US citizen. So we applied for the green card. So it's been like 1 year since I was waiting. I did not get any immigration benefit. So I was waiting. So all of a sudden, like on June, I got RFE regarding my sponsor. So I submitted my sponsor, but until now, I did not hear or heard anything from the immigration. So my question is that should I be worried or like what should I supposed to do now?
Well, what do you think's happening?
I don't know. That's what I was surprised too.
So you've never been out of status?
No. So like as if I said, I came on a F1. So after my graduation, so I don't know, like I'll get a benefit from if I apply for green card, so I can get my work permit. I don't know anything about that. But I applied my OPT. So after my OPT applied, I got an RFE from the OPT.
What was
But
that?
so it's just a basic questions like where's your college? So send me the college, like you're staying near to the college and some kind of stuff regarding to the college.
That's weird. Don't say the name of the college, but is it a college that people have heard of?
Yes.
That's weird.
So my lawyer suggested is that so we better apply a work card through a green card. It's better.
Always.
So I did not reply for my RFE for the OPT. So I just keep quiet. So she applied for the green card.
Dude, always do both. Always do both. Why not do both? You already paid for that one. You should have answered the RFE. Is it too late?
Yeah, it's too late. So no, it's not too late. But my lawyer suggested go.
No, do both. Listen to your lawyer. Do both. You never know which one's going to get here faster. You never know which one's going to get turned down. Just do them both.
So I'm late for the OTP. So it's been cancelled. So she applied for the green card on last year on December.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do now? So it's been like 1 year. I'm waiting.
When did you file the green card case?
On 2024 on December.
What country are you from?
I'm from India.
No interview?
No.
No
interview.
Has your spouse been married before?
No, she's not married before.
Any kids?
No, she has a kid.
How old?
He's like 12 years old.
Is she Indian?
No. She's from here. She was born here. She's an American.
How'd you meet her?
We met like on a random dates. Like I was in a college, so we were partying. So I met her frequent time. We were dated for 1 year. So we thought to marry as soon as we dated, but I just focused on my studies, so I waited for my graduation. Once it completed, so we decided to get a house and we get married.
Hmm. Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Let's pretend you're an immigration officer and you're looking at the file that you and your spouse filed, right?
Yes.
What, if you had to guess, what would be the reason this hasn't been set for interview? Or, I mean, the having to get a co-sponsor fixed, that definitely slows things down, but you probably turned in that response. When did you fix your co-sponsor issue?
I got a RFE for the co-sponsor on like June 10th or 15th. I don't know the exact date. So I responded in like 20 days because my co-sponsor, he went out of the country. So I waited for him to get back to the country. So he get back. So we responded as soon as we possible. So it's been like 60 days. I responded for request for evidence. Until now, I did not even heard we accepted or we denied. So anything like that.
Is there any chance that you screwed up the co-sponsor stuff?
No, it's perfect. Because we cross check thoroughly so well.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, even I don't know. So I've seen your videos a lot of. So you're a good person. So I thought to ask you. So what's going on my case?
Have you and your spouse lived together ever since you got married?
Yes. The day before we married, also we are staying together. We have like a lease. We have utility bills. We have bank statements. We have everything.
Age gap? Is there an age gap?
What? No.
Is there-
Yeah. Think so. That's the reason. Like
Oh.
she's like.
Dude,
she's
why
like,
didn't you tell me? I asked you why and you didn't guess. Now you're telling me there's an age gap. What is the age gap?
it's like 10 years.
Oh, that's not bad. What's the deal with the father of the baby or the 12-year-old?
Like the kid is happy with his dad, so I'm not forcing him, but he know me. Like his family, the girl family know everything about us, and my family know about everything about this. It's okay.
Well,
But they rejected my travel document. But they rejected my travel document. That's it.
that's okay. I don't want you to go traveling anyway.
Yes.
Here's what I'll say. So you filed in December last year?
Yes, sir.
I would say that if you don't hear something by February, call me back and we'll sue them. I'll get the thing moving, okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jim.
Good luck.
Thank you, man.
All right. Let's go to getting married. Hello.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. So I'll try to be as brief as possible. I am, in about 2 weeks, I'm getting married. Well, in 2 weeks, not about. I'm getting married to an undocumented individual that came in the United States about 2 years ago. And she's pregnant now. And we're just trying to figure out our next steps of what she needs to do. Her removal proceedings were terminated over a year ago.
Why?
It's the paperwork says that the Homeland Security, whatever it's called, they didn't present enough evidence, or they didn't show up basically, and it's without prejudice. So I guess they can bring it back up.
What country is she from?
Brazil.
Why did she came across the border?
She came across the border, turned herself into ICE. They let her out on her own recognizance, but it doesn't say on her stuff that it said that she was inspected, but it says that it doesn't say, it specifically says that she wasn't admitted or paroled.
Why did she do that?
I'm not sure. Well, she was following her brother and wanted to come to the U.S. is my understanding.
Okay, so let's talk about what would normally happen, and then let's talk about what happens now, right?
Yep.
Ordinarily, you would file an I-130 petition for her. You can't file the 45 because she's in removal, right? Or she
Right.
I guess maybe she's not in removal. So, well, that's interesting. Do you know on her NTA, did they treat her as an arriving alien?
Well, it says that she was you have been arrested, and then they let her out. What I don't know what you mean. I guess I don't know what you mean by that.
You know, the notice to appear is the charging document for her removal. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, at the top of it, it'll classify how she is. Does it say she's an arriving alien, or do you know?
All right. Let me. I want to look, but I'm scared I'm going to cut you off. I got it on my phone. I don't think I know.
Why don't you just email it to me, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
All right.
That works. I just get the email from them.
It's on the bottom of the screen. info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Okay. That works.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate you. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to Zico. Hello, Zico.
Hey, Mr. Jim, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I have a question about filing I-30, the application for a spousal visa. So, but my situation is like kind of complicated about that. There was something basically overlapping marriage, you know. So I'm married to the U.S. citizen. I came here legally through the lottery immigration. I got everything legally. I came here. I got naturalized. You know, I got my citizenship like in a legal way. You know, no issues, no problems. And then after I got my citizenship, I married to that U.S. citizen for 2 years, and then we got separated because we had like some kind of issues, like problems, you know. And I actually went to jail for that. But all my charges were dismissed. Yeah,
Jail for
we had like some kind of heated conversations, you know. So
to the U.S. citizen's spouse.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and she ended up like calling the police on me, and then they show up and they because I pushed her and they saw like signs of my hands on her arm, so they charged me with the domestic assault. These charges were dismissed. She showed up at court. She said everything is dismissed. You know, like she didn't mean to. Like there was like kind of problems, and so during that time I had a protection order. I can't contact her. I can't talk to her. I can't do anything. So during that time before the court hearing, I went back home and I signed up a marriage contract with that girl that I met over there. So I technically married that woman back home while I'm still married to the U.S. citizen. But I was separated. I had a order of protection. I couldn't contact her. I couldn't talk to her. I couldn't do anything. So
That's bullshit. Hold on. Okay, a couple of things.
Yes, sir.
When you first got on the call with me, you said you called this overlapping marriages. Don't ever say overlapping marriage again.
Why is that?
Because that's called polygamy. There's no such thing as overlapping marriages. That's called polygamy.
I didn't understand. I didn't really know, and I fixed the situation, and I went back home again this year.
How did you fix the situation?
What was that, man? What was that, sir? I'm sorry.
How did you fix the situation?
So after I finalized my marriage from the U.S. citizen, I finalized it. Judge signed it and everything. I got the divorce papers. I went back home to remarry again, like the same wife that I married from before. So I divorced her and married her again with the new contract. But in the new contract, that it says that the same wife she was married to me before. That's all it says. So we didn't have an actual like marriage, you know. I didn't live with her. We didn't live with each other. We just only have the contract. So I didn't do anything. I didn't commit like into like a real marriage. Like I'm not gonna say real, but like I didn't actually live with her, and I actually married her till I figured out everything and I finalized my divorce from the U.S. citizen. Because I felt bad and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I didn't know it was a polygamy, and I regret it. I really regret it, and that's the stupidest mistake I've ever done. And now I'm trying to get my wife from back home, but I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of worried, if I just go through this, anything funky happen, and at the same time, I want to be clear to the USCIS and tell them the whole situation, like for the sake of they have mercy on the situation, like they understand my point of view. I didn't know. I want to respect the law. I want to do everything lawfully. So what you advise me on that, sir?
So, are you from a country or a religious tradition in which polygamy is allowed?
Yes.
So that's not good.
Well, here's the thing. It's yeah.
And the other little thing that you said that I want to knock down is don't ever say again that because you had a restraining order you couldn't get divorced. That is factually and legally incorrect.
No. I can't contact her. I couldn't contact her. It was like in the conditions of the restraining order. I can't. I don't have to contact her.
That has nothing to do whether you were free to marry wife number 2. And you were throwing it out there. You were throwing it out there as a defense to what you did. So that's what I'm trying to make clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to toughen you up because if you blame other people or act like you're the victim, they're going to nail you. And I'm trying to get you not to be that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I understand. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Good. Okay. So I think you made a mistake. I think you made another mistake.
Right.
So
what is it?
If you married the woman back home while you were married to the American citizen, then under American law, your current wife was not married before because you were not free to marry.
Yeah.
So you didn't need the divorce, the marriage decree that you have now that mentions her being married to you in the past is, I think, wrong, except maybe because in that home country, you were free to marry 2 people at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they didn't know that, so I didn't tell them that, and they just write it on the contract that I don't have any other wives.
So I guess what I'm saying is, if you had talked to me beforehand, before going back and marrying wife number 2 a second time, what I would have said is go back there and tell them the reason you're getting married is because your first marriage was void.
I tried to tell him that, but in the law of the family law, whatever, like the marriages, especially with the new laws that they have over there, they said, look, we have to mention everything, doesn't matter what. I tried so hard. I was like, can I just like do anything? Just go to court, explain. He's like, no, that's a law, and they were just like being stubborn about it. They were.
What embassy will your current wife have her interview at?
Oh, I haven't filed yet. She doesn't have. I haven't filed.
But I'm looking at the end of the road. I think we can get this approved at USCIS. I'm wondering when she's sitting across from an embassy official, where is that going to be?
Cairo, Egypt.
Okay. All right. Are you sure polygamy is legal in Egypt?
I think with the new laws, I'm not sure that's legal, to be honest with you, especially with the new laws. But before, like 15, 16 years ago, I think it was fine. But religiously, yeah, but by the law, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So I think you'll get the I-130 approved by USCIS, but then I think the embassy is going to give your wife a really hard time.
Oh, so I met with a lawyer, like I talked to another lawyer, and he advised me to do that. And he said in the interview, at the embassy, they're just gonna ask her for 3 minutes questions like, do you know him? Do you know his family? He said they will never see you. They will never get to talk to you. They will talk to her. You're never gonna be there. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a lot more than 3 minutes. They're going to sit
Yeah.
on this. They're going to sit on this case because they're going to think you were up to something. How
Even
long?
though,
How
yeah.
long have you? The person that you're married to now. How long have you known them?
Technically, I've been knowing him for a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not someone you knew back before you won the DV.
What was that? I'm sorry.
It's not someone that you knew back before you won the diversity visa.
No. Yeah. No. I know. Just known for like a year. You know. It was like it should be an engagement, but the family forced it to be a marriage contract. It was like,
Well,
oh
that's
yeah,
what they
yeah,
get. That's what they get then, because then that's what they get, what they deserve, because their impatience is what fucked this all up.
yeah. That's true.
Okay, so you just got to get started, bro. File the I-130 and go for it. You just got to do it little by little. But I mean, the one thing you have to understand is that wife of yours is going to have to be able to tell this whole story backwards and forwards. You know, you should really hire my wife. She's from Egypt. She'll get
Oh.
you ready for this, and she does overseas cases all the time.
Yeah.
And she's dealt with the Cairo embassy many times.
Okay. So that's great actually. So what you think like the approval for this? I need my wife. Like that's a legitimate wife,
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah,
And
but
there's no fraud or anything. And I just got my citizenship through like a legal way. You know, like they brought me here. So I didn't marry because I want citizenship or green card or anything like that. You know,
wait, time out. When did you become a citizen?
I became a citizen 5 years after I came here. I came here 2017, I believe.
So before all this stuff.
Yes, sir. Before I even married the American citizen.
Okay. All right. So I'll say what I'm saying is this is an approvable case, but it's not going to be fast. They're going to sit on this and see if things unravel. You have a history of marrying more, you know, you've been married twice. You have a DV charge, or you have a.
It's dismissed. It's dismissed though.
Yeah, but that's another thing you got to make sure your wife knows about, because they're going to think, oh, we have to protect her from this abusive man. So this is not an easy case, and it's not. I mean, you're talking 2.5 years.
Yeah. So I'm very stressed about this like every single day, to be honest with you.
Well,
And
what
I
are you
don't.
stressing about? Just get the damn thing on file, dude. Come on.
So should I just go ahead and take the step and just like file it? Because I'm just
I would
concerned.
I would use an attorney, but stressing out and not filing it isn't doing you any good.
Right. I'm just like kind of worried, like if they just like arrest me or just deport me for that mistake, especially what's going on right now. Or just
No, that has nothing. No, that's not that's not the right thing to worry about. The right thing to worry about is my wife ever going to get here because I fucked this up?
Like what, you said she's not gonna get to come here.
There's a chance.
Oh.
Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. This is a great show. There's the things that people like, that guy that called earlier, very nice guy, Eduardo, with the wife who's got the husband pending asylum case, and she's still on it even though she's divorced. I mean, this is stuff that, I've been practicing 20 whatever years it is. Never seen that before. Today, I just heard something that I've never heard before. I tell my buddy Brent, you got to watch baseball because you'll always see something that you haven't seen before. But on the show, at least once a day, maybe we should have a new segment called "I Haven't Seen That Before." It reminds me of in RoboCop when the guy would say, "I'd buy that for $1." Haven't seen that before, but yes, every case is unique. Carolyn, you got to go at the beginning, sister. Lots of interesting stuff. Maria, hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for picking up my call. So, my situation is, my husband is a U.S. Citizen. We got married in December 2024, and we filed for the I-130 on March this year. And before this all happened, I've been traveling back and forth to California to visit him. We started dating in 2020. so literally in the middle of the pandemic, we were long distance, and I started visiting him since then. In May 2nd, 2024, we went to Vietnam to go visit his great grandma for the last time, and she passed away. I came back through LA. I'm Canadian. Sorry for missing that context. I'm a Canadian citizen. But yeah, we flew back to LA after visiting Vietnam. And there they stopped me because of my frequent visits. And then they put me through the detention, through the second interview and everything. And there I got an inadmissibility, specifically the section 212A7AII, intending immigrant without immigrant visa because subject plans to engage in unauthorized employment. And so when I started visiting, I was still enrolled as a student. I was 19 years old when I started visiting in 2020. I was still a student, and I dropped out like late 2020, 2021. And up until now, I'm still not sure what career I'm going into, but during my time, I am working with my husband in his company as an online contractor. And so what happened was the officer gave me a chance to withdraw my admission to enter the US, and he said just apply for another visa. And I don't have like a 5-year bar or anything like that. They just said to apply for another visa that is more appropriate for my situation. So that's what prompted our marriage and everything, and then refiling for the I-130. And so I'm wondering if like our approach was right, or what I can do to prepare now, and like, all those things.
So you're in Canada?
Yes, I'm currently in Canada. I can't go to America, obviously, with the inadmissibility. I don't have my visitor visa. They revoked it.
Mm-hmm. So that was really a bad idea to leave the United States like you did, but I guess you don't need me to tell you that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Canadians get so casual thinking they're like their U.S. citizen spouses and that they can just come and go whenever they feel like it. So I'm saying this more for everybody else, not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the I-130 has been on file since
March 2025. Yeah, we filed it. We provided proof and all those things. But we haven't heard from anything. We're just waiting for it. And it says like 14 months now. Yeah,
I think that's what it'll be. So, next August or so, you'll get an approved I-130. Then you'll go through the National Visa Center. Then you'll have to wait for an embassy interview in Canada. I would do a CBP FOIA request.
Yes, I did that already.
And I think you're just sitting tight until that. I think it's 50-50 whether they say you made a misrep or that you have some kind of a bar on coming back, because just because you withdrew the application doesn't mean they can't still hold the fact that you were working in the United States without permission against you.
Right. Yeah.
So
even though it was online contracting.
Yeah.
I see. And what would you advise for me to do at this moment while we're waiting? Like, we're still looking for lawyers, and then at the same time, I'm just trying to be more proactive of like any documents or anything that I need to like study up on, because especially with the increased scrutiny lately for immigration cases.
We could meet with you and your husband to talk about this and talk about next steps, but I would think that him being separated from you and you not being able to come to the United States is producing a hardship on the both of you, and him especially. So I would think about, if we are going to have to get a waiver for the unauthorized work or misreps or whatever, then we need to think about, what hardship is there to the husband. So I would focus on him. It's not about you. It's all about him. So if you want our help working on that, you could reach out and we could take it from there. But really, nothing's really going to happen on this case for another year, and then we just go from there.
Right. So just basically wait for the approval, and then we worry about the next steps.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I think there's a 60-70% chance of him needing a waiver. So if he's going to a psychologist and talking about the hardship of having you stuck in Canada, now as opposed to waiting. And then he has, goes to see the therapist once a month, and it's legit. He's really stressed. I'm sure he's stressed out that
Yeah, he's very.
he's worried that he's going to be able to come. Then you have a year and a half of psychology records versus a drive-by assessment saying, oh yeah, he's suffering hardship. That you see the difference?
Yeah. From your experience, is this like too complicated of a case? Like, is there a big chance of me not being able to go there, or is this something that's like fixable through like, because I literally wasn't trying to be unlawful. I don't even have as much as a parking ticket because I really do abide by the laws, but during the time it was really confusing. I was young, and I did call the CBP, like the CBP hotline, asked them like, oh, is this okay to do? They gave me I always check my I-94 when I visit, and they always give me like the time and everything. So I basically thought everything I was doing was fine.
Yep. All right. Well, good luck. Let us know if you need our help. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Again, my name is Jim Hacking. This is the Immigration Answer Show. I'll be here not tomorrow, sometime this weekend. It's going to be all pop-up shows. So if you're not getting our emails, let us know. Send an email to info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Let us know that you want to get an email when the show goes live. Dammy, did you watch that show or did you watch that call with the Haitian lady? It's something. All right, everybody. We'll be back probably Saturday, maybe Sunday. Depends on softball and all that good stuff. In the meantime, if you need us, 314-961-8200. Thank you, Apple user. I love your show. Awesome. Bye, guys. Peace. Thanks, Huli. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in the state of invasion. I mean,